everyone. So, welcome to the first of Divine Light Ignite. This is going to be an amazing shared journey that I very much look forward to guiding you on. Today, we're going to begin very gently, very simply. So, to begin with, on day one, you need to just get the basics right. Now, the first point of the basics is, where are you going to be? And are you going to be sitting, or are you going to be lying down? Very simple questions. And there are no right answers to these questions. You can find for yourself a place that's beautiful, that's comfortable. So I've got my nest over here, which I've set up outside in a beautiful part of the garden. It's very peaceful. It's evening time. It's going to be a lovely shady place. And I've chosen today to sit down. Now, I'm not trying to look all super spiritual in that I'm going to be taking something of a lotus position. This is the classic meditative seated position. I get into this position quite comfortably. If you also do, and you like to, and you want to sit, by all means do. But there's normally when I meditate, if I wasn't going to be working in front of a camera, I normally lie down. I normally lie in my bed. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Wherever you're going to be comfortable. No reason to not be in your recliner chair, if that makes you comfortable. There are a few things that you need to bring with you to our meditations. And today, you're going to want a stopwatch of some kind, and you're going to want to set your stopwatch to 5 minutes, so that when I say start, you start, and then after 5 minutes, you'll have an alarm. Because I'm not going to lead you through the entirety of every meditation, particularly later on, your meditations are going to get longer. I'm going to set you up and tell you what you're doing, and sometimes I'll lead you partway and leave you be, and well, you'll see how it goes. But you need a stopwatch to get a sense of how long you are, because we do have Western minds. I think most of us that are on this journey together, we have Western minds. We think in a particular way. We live in a modern society where we're all about doing and timing. And if I say to you, meditate until until you're done, until you're ready to arise, your mind's going to start. What do I do about that? How long should that be? And the other thing you really want to bring along is a pen and a paper. Believe it or not, to your meditation, bring a pen and a paper. And the reason for that is about dealing with your objections to why you can't be here for this meditation. When you are trying to get into a meditative state and a thought arises, it's going to very often masquerade as a useful thought. Oh, I must remember that. That's important. Maya might participate in the meditation. So if a useful thought arises, and you need to focus on that. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Maya. And you need to focus on that, Maya. No more joining the meditation. You've lost your chance. If a thought arises, or a puppy dog arises and says, pay attention, it's very hard for your productive Western mind to say, let it go. So what do? You just open one eye, or two if you must, and you write down the word or two that captures that thought. And then you put it down. Did you watch The Lord of the Rings? No, it wasn't The Lord of the Rings. It was Harry Potter. Did you watch Harry Potter? Harry Potter, the wizard Dumbledore had a thing called a pensieve. He could pull a thought out of his mind and drop it in a pensieve. If you watched Harry Potter, this is your pensieve. It's how you take thoughts out of your mind and how you give yourself permission to come to stillness, to calmness. And the reason that's important is that calmness of mind is actually what we are trying to do in meditation. You see, an uproarious, noisy mind does not allow you to see beyond that mind. All you're able to perceive is what's going on in your mind. And an uproarious and busy mind won't allow you to get beyond into those places where you connect with the divine, into those places where inspiration happens, magic happens, wonderment happens. So we are trying to achieve a calm mind. And that's what we're going to start with today. Now, one last thing that I like to do is I like to light a little incense. Why? Well, for one thing, quite simply, I like the smell of the stuff. For another, it creates a moment of ritual. I'm suggesting to myself on an unconscious level that I am doing something a little different here. Now, you might want to have your own kind of little ritual. Light candles, sit in front of a space, an altar, and put a symbol on the altar for something sacred to you, whatever works for you. Or perhaps you think all of that's hooey and you don't want any of that nonsense. You don't have to. But I like to do that. I like to light a little incense, and we will, in future sessions, talk about cleansing the space. So there's more that we will use incense for. And then it's time simply to sit. Now, for today's sitting, I want to talk to you about a special kind of breathing that we are going to begin today and we're going to build on. We're going to use this special kind of breathing throughout our journey into igniting the divine light. So I'd like to see if you can get it right. Right up at the back at the top of your throat, there's that little tongue that hangs there, I think it's called the uvula. And the uvula can be used to close off so that you can't breathe in through your nose. You can close it and no air will move through your nose. And then on your throat, you've got the epiglottis that closes off your mouth so that you can't breathe through your mouth. And we don't normally concentrate on consciously opening and closing these things, and sometimes it just takes a little practice to get it right. And what we are endeavoring to do now, see if you can do it with me, is not breathe through the mouth. You can have your mouth open or closed, but not breathe through the mouth. So close the epiglottis off and start to close your uvula so that you can just get a little air, a sip of air, like breathing through a straw or something. It's a very restricted airflow. The air is flowing over the uvula like that. So, Maya, thank you for the invitation, but no. And that's what we're going to do for today's meditation. You're going to, yoga adherents, those who've done yoga, will know this as Ujjayi breath. And it's the beginning of all kinds of beautiful stuff with breathing. And so for today's meditation, you're going to set your stopwatch for 5 minutes, and you're going to breathe Ujjayi for 5 minutes. And you're going to notice as you're breathing Ujjayi what objections arise, why you can't be meditating. This is boring, this is silly, nothing's happening. Those objections. And I must remember to add dishwashing liquid to the shopping list and tomorrow's appointments and. If they arise, write them down. All the while, bringing yourself back to the Ujjayi breath. Okay, so the way we do this breath, you can please close your eyes and bring yourself into your body just briefly. Become aware of your body, become aware of how it's feeling right now. and then begin this special breath, closing the uvula up at the top of your nose and breathing slow, measured breaths in and out. You'll notice it sounds a little bit like the ocean. It sounds a little bit like waves coming in and going. There's no air passing through my mouth. My mouth is open, but it's all passing through my nose. Once you're starting to get the experience of this breath, starting to become comfortable with the feeling of it, you can start noticing the rhythm of it. And really what you're trying to do is breathe in fairly quickly, not rushed, but fairly quickly, and then hold for a little longer than you breathed in, and breathe out long and slow. This pace is deeply relaxing to the physicality. So you can do that just by getting a feeling for your breath, or you can count. You can count your breaths. You can count, say, 4 breaths. Count 4 on in, hold for 6, let go for 8 or 12. Find your own rhythm, but start to slow the pace, particularly of the out-breath, and observe. Just observe what happens. Observe what happens in your mind while you're doing this. Notice that there's very little opportunity for objections to arise unless you lose your focus on the breath. When you drift off of your breath, then your mind starts to get busy. So friends, that's what we're doing today. I leave you to your Ujjayi breath. I leave you to your experience. A final note before I go about the nature of the leading that you will be getting from me. Friends, I'm not your guru. I'm not your master. I'm not your teacher. All of that lies within you. The divine light is within you. Your guru is within you. I'm simply pointing the way. So I don't have all the answers for what you should and shouldn't be doing. I don't have all the minute details to lead you on an exquisitely mapped out journey into the divine for yourself, but I can point you in the direction. And each day I'm going to be pointing you in the direction. And today I'm pointing you in the direction of using this beautiful controlled breath to achieve a measure of control of your mind. And so I leave you to the continuation of that. Do enjoy, and I'll see you tomorrow.